Today I'm going to be showing you guys how to make your very own pancit. These are the ingredients that you will be needing. The first thing that you guys need to do to make pancit is to squeeze out all the excess water from the shiitake mushrooms. Then you are going to place it on the cutting board and with a small knife, take it and cut it into thin slices. Now the mushroom can get a little rubbery during the time that it's sitting in the water, so you want to be careful as to not cut your fingers when you're cutting the mushroom. Next, you're going to strain your sotan hung or rice noodles. After you strain the noodles, put them back into the bowl that they started in. Next, you're going to turn the heat on your burner to medium-low heat and place the wok on top. Next, in your wok, you are going to pour about 2 tablespoons of vegetable oil in. Then, you're going to take your bowl filled with onions, garlic, and ginger and pour it into the wok. You want to make sure that you get everything in there. They should look like this when they are ready. When the onions, garlic, and ginger are ready, you are going to add your shiitake mushrooms. The mushrooms should look like this when they are ready. After the mixture of onions, ginger, garlic, and mushrooms is ready, you can add in your chicken. The mixture should look like this when it's done. Next, you're going to take your chicken broth and incorporate a little bit of it into your mixture. Next, you're going to take the water that the mushrooms soaked in and add it to the remaining chicken broth. After the chicken broth is all soaked into the mixture, you're going to take your soy sauce and put as much in as you like. Just make sure you don't put too much in, otherwise it gets overly salty. After you've poured the rest of your broth in, you can take your sotan hung noodles and put in little handfuls at a time. After you put all of the noodles in, you're just going to stir it around until all of the noodles are submerged completely in the broth. At this point, if you're thinking that your pancit isn't salty enough, you can take your soy sauce and add a few more dashes. Again, this is just a taste, so just add as much as you think will be needed. This is what it should look like once the liquid is half absorbed. Now you can just stir it around a little bit and then leave it to sit a little more. If you are feeling that your pancit doesn't have enough liquid, then you can take your extra chicken broth and just pour a little bit of that in. After you think most of the liquid in your pancit is absorbed, you can take a clean fork and try your pancit. If you don't think it's salty enough, then you can add some more soy sauce. But if you think it's just perfect, then you don't have to do that. And remember to add little dashes at a time, just so that you don't over salt it. Once you think your pancit has finished simmering, just take your green scallions and sprinkle all of them over your pancit. This is what your pancit should look like once it is done. To keep it warm, put the burner on low heat so the pancit doesn't cook anymore. Today, I am also going to show you guys how to make your very own spaghetti. Here are the ingredients you will be needing. To start, put a small deep pan on the stove and turn the burner on medium-low heat. First, drizzle some olive oil into your pan to get ready to saute the onions and garlic. After the olive oil is in the pan, take your onions and garlic and pour them in. This is what your onions should look like when they are ready. Once your onions are golden brown, you're going to take your tomato paste and put it in. It helps to use a spatula to get all of it out of the can. Once all of the tomato paste is in the pan, stir it around with the onions so that you can incorporate them together. Next, you can add your can of crushed tomatoes. And make sure not to pour it in too fast, otherwise the oil will splatter all over. Now to thin the sauce out, add 1/2 cup of water to the sauce. Next, we're going to add our brown sugar. Next, we are going to take our white wine balsamic vinegar and put that into the sauce as well. Since this sauce has no salt in it, You want to taste your sauce to see how much salt you want to add. After you taste your sauce, take your salt and put in as much as you think is needed. Be sure to add some pepper too, and again, this is just to your liking, so put as much or as little as you think is needed. Next, you are going to take your fresh parsley and add it into the sauce. Once your parsley is incorporated, you are going to take some of your dried oregano and crush it up in your finger. Then you're going to sprinkle it over the sauce. You can put as much or as little oregano as you like. Next, take a big deep pot and put water in it to boil. Once your water has reached a boiling point, you can take some salt and sprinkle it in. Now be careful because sometimes the salt can make the water splash up. Next, you're going to take your spaghetti noodles and carefully pour them into the pot of water. Now you are going to wait until your noodles are al dente. This means that they are not too hard, but they are not too mushy either. And feel free to try one just to make sure. As you can see, the spaghetti noodles are now ready. They can bend and are soft to the touch, but are not too mushy. Next, you're going to take a strainer and put it in the sink. Then you're going to take your pot of noodles and pour out all of the water. You're also going to pour the noodles into the strainer as well. Next, pour your noodles into the serving dish. Then, you're going to take your marinara sauce over and pour it over the spaghetti. Then, if you want to, you can take a tongs and mix the marinara sauce and the spaghetti together. Now I'm going to take a block of Parmesan cheese in a grater and grate some Parmesan cheese into a small bowl. Once I have finished grating the Parmesan cheese, you can set that aside and then take some dried oregano and crush it up into the bowl of Parmesan cheese. And you can add as much oregano as you like, or you can add none at all. It's your choice. Then you're going to mix together your dried oregano and Parmesan. To finish off the spaghetti, you're going to take your Parmesan cheese and dried oregano mixture and sprinkle it over the spaghetti. Here we have the finished pancit, and we also have the finished spaghetti. We have two different noodle dishes, one Filipino and one American.